Hello and welcome to day 16 of the happiness journey. And today we are talking about what happens when you decide to be happy. So, when I decided to do this happiness journey, I actually felt instantly happy. If I waited for the perfect circumstances, the when this happens or when this is right or when that falls into place and so on, it wouldn't have happened because life always has something that gets in the way. So I had to make up my mind to be happy and to do this journey, even when things were going not great. And so, even when things go wrong, and believe me, a lot has gone wrong, I stopped thinking and using terms that were negatively focused. But I also stopped thinking that terms such as right and wrong were too polarized. And although I see the lessons in what goes wrong at the time, because it feels wrong, I used to think you shouldn't use the word wrong because it's negative. But I actually have changed my focus because at the time it does feel wrong. We just have to be really, really honest with ourselves because that's part of being happy. So, with my mind on the happiness journey, or maybe I should call it the happiness experiment because I'm experimenting on myself as we're going, I wasn't feeling pulled down like I could be with what goes wrong. And so that in itself was just brilliant. And I also started to notice the small things that I usually would ignore, but I found that they brought me joy, like the little bird that sings outside my bedroom window every morning. It just has such a beautiful array of tunes, and I wake up and hear it, and it makes me smile. That makes me happy. Whereas I've lived where I am for 4 years or 5 years and I've not heard it before, but part of this happiness journey, I've heard this little bird. Also, I've caught myself responding differently. I'm responding more calmly, more lightly, and I'm more present. And you know what? Even my coffee tastes better. I mean, who would have thought that was even possible? So, deciding to be happy, of course, doesn't fix everything, but it does change how we experience life. So, you can try it for an hour or a day or a moment and just see what happens. Have a I choose happiness mindset. So, what does actually happen when you decide to be happy today? It actually creates changes in the mind and the body. So, what happens in the nervous system when we decide to be happy, when we consciously decide to be happy, or should I say excuse me, more realistically, we focus on positive thoughts, focus on being grateful, having gratitude, and just being aware and observing more than being in things. And this causes our nervous system to shift. And we shift from fight or flight to rest and digest. And that makes us feel calmer. So normally stress or negative thinking triggers our sympathetic nervous system. And that causes our heart to race and tension, cortisol release, and anxious thoughts. But by choosing happiness and practicing gratitude and mindful attention, that activates the parasympathetic nervous system and that slows the heart rate. It lowers the cortisol, it relaxes our muscles, and it calms the mind. Also, the brain chemistry changes. So, that positive focus stimulates dopamine, all the good all the good neurotransmitters and hormones, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. And those neurotransmitters are linked to the pleasure, motivation, and the connection. So even small actions like smiling, deep breathing, or noticing those small joys that I just mentioned can trigger this whole chemical cascade. And so when we repeatedly choose a positive mindset and we have mindful responses, it literally rewires our brain. So over time, you become more likely to notice good things automatically and we become less reactive to stress and just feel better overall. So, in summary, this is what happens when you decide to be happy. When you decide, you instruct your brain of what you want. And so, as we said, that changes the mind, changes the communication from the brain to the body, and we have that mind body interaction, which reduces stress. We feel calmer, our heart feels more peaceful, the tension in our muscles lessens, we feel more positive, we have neurotransmitters that uplift the mood, our brain is wired so we actually become more resilient, and it also interrupts negative loops, which is a big thing. The mind, the thoughts of those negative loops, well, they start to diminish. We are more present. We find more joy just by the sun shining, or like we said before, I'm big on coffee, a sip of coffee, or our food tastes better. And this is just so awesome. And it is definitely working amazingly for me. And choosing happiness can work for you too. So thank you so much for being here today. This is nice and short and sweet, and I wish you an abundance of blessings. I'll see you next time for day 17. Thank you.